At the beginning of episode 2, we saw all the guards who were burning the bodies of the dead, and then they saw a man, then they locked his body inside the box. On the other hand, everyone was shocked. There, Song thanked Cho and Ali for helping him. The guards came back and said, "You all have won," in which 201 people won in this game and the rest of the people were eliminated. Then all those people started crying and requesting to be allowed to go home because those people, they were as well eliminated. Thus, intuition suggests the match will cease upon a loss, or it's been communicated to you. Then all declare, "We don't require cash, simply return home." Additionally, had you not abandoned us, the authorities would be obliged to apprehend you. This is what I inferred from perusing your agreement, wherein it stated that should the surviving seasoned participants opt out, their safe return home is mandated. Yates was right then. Then they showed everyone the money of the dead players because they had the money they won, and that total was 25.5 billion won, saying that if you people do not play the game further, then this money will be sent back to you without giving you. Then everyone there was shocked, and then the cards started voting there. And the first one was called, and then he dissented to not play the game because he loved his life. And gradually the rest of the people moved forward, in which a lot of people were short of money and they dissented to continue the game, and out of them 200 votes were lost, in which 100 people wanted to play and 100 people did not want to play. And the last vote was for Uncle, and then he felt sad that he was going to die in a few days anyway, and so he will vote to continue Kim. But Uncle voted to close the game, due to which the cards decided to repatriate him without financial remuneration, and the guards mention your return will be prompt, albeit after a brief period of 2 days you'll be offered a second opportunity where you'll be queried on your desire to rejoin or otherwise. Should the majority of contestants agree to come back, the contest will be reignited. After a while, they were all tied up and thrown back onto the road. Then Beko was thrown there along with Sean, and Sean freed Beko. Then it was swept that if I free you, then you will ask me for money. Then Song says not to ask, and Tabe opened her hands, and there Song went to ask her for money, and then they did not open her legs, and she left there. On the other hand, Ali and those who were together, then Ali says, "Sir, I live in another city and I have to make a phone call to go there. Will you let me call from your phone once?" Cole then bought a new phone with money from a nearby store, in which messages started coming for money from Unda and officers who took a lot of money from him. Then Chon first gave Ali the phone, fed him food, and Ali made 2 or 3 calls and told them all that I am coming back. Then Ali returned the phone to Choco and he was leaving there. Then those who asked, "You don't have money and in what city do you live? It is 200 kilometers from here, so how do you get there?" He mentions he'll depart. Subsequently, Choco felt compassion and provided Ali with funds for the shelter, and Ali thanked him, indicating he wouldn't be able to repay it. Unperturbed, Sham arrived at the police precinct, recounting the tale to all present and shared contacts involved in a sinister scheme where individuals were eliminated through juvenile gameplay. So the officers called that number and they spoke to a girl because she started abusing everyone. Then the officers drove Shock away and she was angry. There the officer came and then the officer told him things of hobby and showed his card, which those who thought strange, and then they also left there. After some time, Shock came back to his house when his mother was not at home. And Song came out and saw that his mother was secretly watching the lake, and then the two of them started talking, in which the hobby says that you had become quite a big businessman. But how did you become a debtor? That you claim possesses billions in automotive assets even the entire gaming community was unaware of. Meanwhile, I've lost a significant sum in both stocks and mutual funds. Consequently, Song was astounded to learn that I'd also forfeited my residence and business, yet Chill remains oblivious to the situation. Amidst this, Shock received a distressing call from the medical center. Upon his arrival, he was confronted with the sight of his mother Malsu's worsened leg condition, exacerbated by overexertion and her ongoing battle with diabetes, plunging Song into profound sorrow. The doctor said that the treatment would be very expensive, otherwise her leg would need to be amputated. That night when Malsu left the hospital, Song suggested, "Mom, you should get treatment." Malsu responded, "If I stay here, we will face a shortage of money and might lose our house, which you returned to after being absent for so long." Song then mentioned, "You have money on your card, use it for treatment," to which Malsu replied, "You stole and wasted all my money, you forgot about that, and now I can't fight with you and you ought to consider making personal changes." Song then assured, "I shall secure funds for you by some means." Concurrently, in the pursuit of his investigation, Zulm arrived at his sibling's residence only to realize he had vanished long ago. Venturing into his brother's chamber, he stumbled upon evidence that time had stood still there and surprisingly uncovered a card bearing a striking resemblance to one belonging to Shock, leaving him astonished. Simultaneously, he reunited with his sibling Kaik, who was residing in an institution for orphans. Observing Kaik's desolate state, Kaik confided his yearning to not remain in the orphanage, instead aspiring to reunite with their parents. He reassured, "I am exerting all effort to fetch them here." Subsequently, she began to attentively look after her sibling. In parallel, Ali made his way to confront his employer, articulating, "Having dedicated years of service here, my fingers became severed in a machinery mishap. You had pledged compensation for my injury as well as for my overdue wages, yet you haven't paid me. Please give me my money so I can return to my country." Then his boss climbs up and says that the company is facing a recession and whatever money he had, he hid it and he was about to flee. Then Ali started requesting and approaching him because Ali needed money for his family and tried to attack Ali. Ali pushed him and Chad's hand got stuck in the machine and his fingers got crushed there. Then Ali took Chad's hidden money and ran away from there. On the other side, she met with a pimp named Daymark, and Mark said that the money she had given him was stolen by a man who fled to the China border and was caught but bribed the police and escaped. Then she said she desperately needed her mom here as she was stuck in North Korea. Actually, she had fled with her family from North Korea looking for a better life. But in her journey, only she and her brother reached here and her mother was caught and sent back. Then Mark said that to bring her mum here, he would have to bribe everyone from the start and it would cost 40 million won. So she threw coffee on him, grabbed him with a knife and said that last time she risked her life to bring him money because he said someone ran away with it. Mark then said that this time it won't happen. She said if she got cheated this time, then she planned to confront him. Subsequently, Ben purloined funds from Mark prior to his departure. After a while, during a phone conversation from the correctional facility, Joe assured his mother he'd swiftly complete his assignments in the United States and make his way back home. Just at that moment, a patron arrived and Jill engaged with them, extolling her son's virtues. The customer, visibly delighted upon seeing Joe's photograph, remarked on his attractiveness and speculated about the sort of woman he might wed. Jill was overjoyed upon hearing these words. Just then, law enforcement officials arrived inquiring about the whereabouts of her son Joe. Jill informed them he was in the United States. Contrarily, the officers clarified that he was actually evading capture in Korea, with a legal mandate issued against him due to Joe having defrauded numerous individuals. Subsequently, the lake voiced a denial. "There's no way my son would behave in such a manner and it must be another." The officers instructed that upon your son's return, inform him to willingly turn himself into the authorities or he will encounter significant trouble. Post-departure of the officers, the detention center was shrouded in melancholy. At the same time, profound sorrow engulfed the individual lodged at the inn, and upon perceiving an external sound, he investigated. Stepping outside, he stumbled upon a game card nestled beneath the portal, granting him renewed access to the virtual contest. Moreover, Ali encountered his spouse and, bequeathing her with funds, he advised her to venture back to Pakistan with their offspring, pledging a return post-accumulation of additional wealth. His partner harbored suspicions of secrecy, yet Ali maintained an adamant stance on non-disclosure. Concurrent with Ali's family reunion, Song sought financial aid from Jung, who denied possessing resources. Nonetheless, Song proposed laboring at Jung's establishment, citing an urgent monetary requirement. In response, Jung acknowledged recent financial drought, pinning blame on his partner's hoarding of profit. Amidst this exchange, Jung's spouse surfaced, summoning him. After a brief farewell, Jung complied, while Song was curtly dismissed by Jung's mate. Time passed and Song found sustenance when an elder, familiar from previous game encounters, greeted him. Their mutual recognition sparked joy. The elder disclosed the absence of personal abode, thus resorting to temporary shelter at a companion's dwelling in proximity. Song extended an offer of libation, to the elder's delight culminating in a collective celebration. Despite acknowledging potential perils, the elder revealed intentions of re-entering the game, driven by the notion that existence here paled in comparison to infernal conditions reinforced by prior victories under the game's hazardous lights. Yes, I started thinking about it. Meanwhile, we saw Jung meeting another thug, Chao, who worked under him. And he says that the people of that game have sent me a card to play the game back from which I got a number, and this time we will take our whole gang there and kill them and rob all their money. Then what we say is that the boss is fine, but you had eaten the money of your colleagues, then you had also robbed the boss, and now no one trusts you. At the same time, you had also stolen the gambling money of the syndicate. I was shocked to hear this because no one knew about the syndicate. There Job had called the goons of the syndicate. And then they went forward to kill Jung, and Jung killed Chaum on the spot. Then the goons came to catch him, then Jung jumped into the water from there to save his life. On the other hand, Song came and asked him for money and also told him about Malas being sick. So Beyonce Ji says that my husband Lee, who does not give much money, and you have not given me anything even for your daughter till date. Then Shom says that it was necessary, otherwise I would not ask you for money. Then she got angry and she says that when I was going to be a mother, you told me. Then Song says that I and my friend were at the front, and at that time my friend was injured and killed, due to which I could not reach you. Then Ji says that I was very sick at that time and could have died. Lee came back with her children, and when she saw the mourning there, Wosong says, I came to see Jio. Then he came out of there and was distracted by the arrival of the hobby, and he started telling Ji about it. So Bianchi told about asking for mourning money. Okay, I came down for a while and was sad. Then he gave the mourner money and said, well, keep it. Then Song took the money. And there is a leaked verse that from now on you leave my family behind, because with Gio, we will go to America in a few days. Then Song hit him a lot and he says, money can't buy me. No, but this creature also saw it. It was sad, and the hobby of this thing spread very badly. During the evening, as the creatures made their way back to their abode, they stumbled upon clues and commenced inquiries regarding the card and strategy he mentioned at the precinct, a place where individuals met their demise within its walls. Subsequently, Song declares that I was fabricating tales under duress. He follows up by stating that my sibling unearthed an untouched ICCI card, one that has remained unscathed over an extended period, hence a plea for assistance arises. He said that he found the card on the road and could not help. Then he went back home from there. Then Song saw that it was found outside his room too, from which he could return to the game. After a while, everyone was so fed up with their lives that they decided to return to the game, and a van came for them. As all of them got in the van, they were rendered unconscious with gas, and then they left from there. June followed them in his car behind Shock's van. Owing to the fact that she halted her perceptions, this marks the spot where the outstanding second episode concludes.